What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Eric, and today we're going to be reviewing a film called Nope. Checked it out last night, and to be honest, I rather enjoyed this film. I had low expectations. I was not a huge fan of Jordan Peele's Us. I thought that movie had a great premise with the doppelganger family showing up, just freaky, scary stuff, but the humor was terrible, not funny, undercut the horror, absolutely unnatural, terrible. And the third act I thought was just way out of left field, made no sense. I know that there was a lot of social commentary and stuff like that, metaphoric stuff. I'm sorry, it just didn't work for me. I'm looking for a little more grounded horror film, and if you want to throw in some social commentary and some metaphors, fantastic. Pretty much every film has some, I understand that, but it was just way too much for me in Us. Now, that being said, the prior movie from Jordan Peele, Get Out, kicks ass. Kicks ass. Seen it 5 or 6 times, own that one, love that movie. But I went into this one thinking it was going to be more like Us. I thought he would only ramp up the social commentary. I thought he would only ramp up the comedy. And pleasantly, I was surprised. I mean, there is metaphors in this movie, no doubt about it. There is social commentary in this movie. But for me anyway, it was not just so in your face that you couldn't just sit back and enjoy the horror movie. Not at all. And if you want to take those metaphors for what they are, you can do that. If you want to just ignore that and sit back and enjoy, you can do that. I really love the setting for this movie with the horses and the ranch and everything like that. And the fact that that video, that old footage, the first video ever shot with the horse, that video is integral to this movie. It's a key part of this movie, and that's really cool because that's a video that I've watched and studied, and there are actually multiple of, it's not just one, he did several videos, but the very original first video ever done, the man riding that horse, the jockey riding that horse, is a great grandfather to the main characters that we have in this movie, which are a brother and sister who actually see some paranormal UFO shit going down, and they're trying to capture it on video. And that's basically the main premise of the movie, but there's a lot of other things, of course, going on. You have this kid who was a part of this television show way back in the 90s, and there's a chimp that was their co-star who went berserk, and that adds some added horror and some added commentary and just fleshes out the story a little more. But it's also some awesome shots seeing that chimp. I don't know if that was real or CGI or what, but that chimp stole the show because that guy was absolutely phenomenal and scary as all hell. Just some of his movements and in his eyes, it was freaky shit, no doubt about that. And the characters here are pretty well developed. You have a storyline with the daughter, Em, and how she just wants to sell that ranch, sell the horses, get rid of it all. She's looking more for fame and fortune there in Hollywood, and her father never really taught her how to ride horses, and he said he would. So there's some backstory with her, backstory with her brother quite a bit with OJ, and the movie takes its time to develop its characters, develop its story, which I appreciate. I mean, at times you're kind of like, dang, when is something going to happen? It does take a little while, but I really do appreciate it. It's good storytelling. I guess I'm just not used to that anymore. So it really is, though. It was a good storytelling, in my opinion. Building the story also of the little kid who was on that set where the chimp went crazy. He is now an adult, and he's on a nearby ranch, kind of telling stories about that, just exploiting that whole situation, which, you know, hey, shout out to him, but he's got this whole ranch where he tells a story and he puts on this spectacle. But meanwhile, yeah, the UFO crazy shit going on. So when they see this UFO, they're trying to get a shot of it, and then eventually they're going to hire someone else to help, and that's pretty much the story that we have. But a lot of awesome shit in this movie, a lot of cool shots, the UFO shots towards the end of the third act and everything. It does ramp up like it should, and it has a pretty satisfying ending. Things make sense in this movie. All characters are connected to it. The story progresses, and all this is all basic storytelling 101, but a lot of movies don't follow it. So it's just a breath of fresh air to actually see a pretty high budget movie from a pretty well-known director at this point, and it's executed pretty damn well. The humor I'll talk about, like, I didn't think it was like hilarious. There was a few moments where I would laugh, but the humor was was tame, was relatively tame, unlike Us, where they're outside arguing over who gets to ride in the front because of their kill count, little kids with blood everywhere. I mean, it was just stupid. I will maintain that. The humor in Us was absolutely terrible. I have not revisited that movie, even though a lot of it I really love. But this film, that the humor felt a little more tame. It wasn't funny to me. I wasn't like laughing my ass off at all. But like I said, it was humorous enough without going overboard with it. And it does bring a little lightness to the film at times. If anything, I would say it's more of a positive than a negative. But to me, I didn't think it was funny, but I thought it was well done for what they wanted to do with it. So, and the horror elements are pretty good. There are some jump scares that happen, like boom, 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 boom. The jump scares start. It kind of reminded me of some early Friday the 13th, and I'm a huge fan of that franchise for its stupid campiness and everything like that. But there are sometimes the jump scares go on a little bit more than I would like, because I kind of see them all coming. The first one, though, it got me pretty good. Like, I thought maybe there was something going on, and it turned out to be just a fake out. But that one kind of got me. It was kind of creepy. And overall, I don't want to give out too much, but overall, I thought the movie had the right amount of horror, the right amount of, scary UFO stuff, built the story nicely. There's a lot here. It's more than just surface level with the characters. And some, I thought added storyline with the kid on the TV show set. Just, I know it added to maybe the messaging and everything, but it also adds to the horror. It really does, because maybe that UFO in the sky, maybe for a lot of people wouldn't quite been enough horror. But when you add this extra chimp to the storyline, yeah, that really ramps it up. And overall, it didn't blow me away. I wasn't like, hey, this is one of the best horror movies of all time. I didn't think, it was up there. But it's definitely, probably, if you go back to, 2015, since 2015, so the past 7 or so years, it's probably in the top 20 for me as far as horror films, top 15. There haven't been a lot of great ones. Get Out would be one that is, even for me, better than this. And other than that, you have like Hereditary, and you have a few here and there. There's a movie called Antlers. That was a great horror movie that I really liked I think it was earlier this year, actually. But there haven't been a whole lot, So this might even be top 10 in the last 6-7 years for me. It's really is a fantastic film. Look, I don't think it's a masterpiece, but I gotta say, this movie, in my opinion, is freaking awesome. I mean, that's just me. I know that there are definitely varying opinions out there, as there always are, but I look at it as a freaking awesome movie. The acting is great. There are so many actors I haven't even touched on. Keith David is in this movie. There's another character who helps them out, who helps the brother and sister out, and he's awesome. There are multiple characters in this movie. There's a guy, that older character, that comes out of the woodworks to try to help them catch it on film. There are some actions by some of the characters that I find like, why would you do that? Why, even the main character, OJ, at times doesn't react immediately. And he does it several times. I guess that's just his character. It takes him a while to process what's happening. He'll just stare like. And then he'll run and help. It's like, bro, go! Let's go. But other than that, I like this movie a lot. I think it's freaking awesome. That's just me. But let me know what you guys think. If you've checked it out, have a fantastic day. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe. And we'll talk to you next time.